Thanks for indulging me. I'm not in the form of a lion, but I did want to sing the song.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This will be my full Rick and Morty Season 9, Episode 7 video. There were a whole bunch of Easter eggs, WTF moments, references, so we will break it all down. There are a lot of deep-cut animation references during this, but it also felt like the writers having fun with Morty trying to see how much crap they could actually get him to eat. The episode is titled Mortgully, The Last Rickforest, a reference to Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest movie, which is an early 90s animated film. Huge deep cut. It's been forever since I've seen this, so I need to rewatch this at some point pretty soon. During the movie, there is an ancient tree that a bunch of fairies live around, and there is a human person who's shrunk down and forced to live with the fairies and help them defeat this evil spirit that had been trapped in the tree. But unlike the tree creature in this episode, the tree in the movie itself does not shrink the person. In the context of the episode, it's mostly about Rick and Morty being trapped by the living tree in its rainforest, its endless cycle of life, its hollow earth, which is trying to give them a moral lesson, but we really find that it's actually just trapping them for sustenance, lying to them about this whole moral message. Really, the tree just wound up being this evolved predator. The episode is also another classic Rick and Morty adventure with just the two of them without the rest of the family. Rick taking Morty to try and get the best sap in the universe because Morty jokes later in the episode it either gets you high or just does something really psychedelic to you. For whatever reason, Rick really enjoys the sap. So the idea is that Rick has been to this tree and stolen its sap before, but this is the first time for some reason that it winds up being able to trap them in its hollow earth, which is a big Monsterverse reference. In the Monsterverse, the hollow earth is where the Titans evolved from. During the episode, it's just the area where the tree is able to project this field of rebirth, trapping everybody in this endless cycle. They awaken in the typical starting state, which is amoeba form. Everybody that dies wakes up as an amoeba and gets to choose what they evolve into. There were no new scenes from the intro in this episode, and when we come back, the narrator amoeba is intended to be a parody of Morgan Freeman's god-tier voiceover narrating things, and mostly a Shawshank Redemption parody too. When you actually look at the credits, they actually got real-life Morgan Freeman's son to play the character. His name is Alfonso Freeman, so Morgan Freeman's son is doing a parody of him in Shawshank Redemption. During this first part of the episode, he makes a bunch of Shawshank references. Great prison movie, probably one of the best prison movies of all time, and just great movie in general. He talks about cellmates, life in this prison area, and a lot of his lines of dialogue are lines that were spoken by Morgan Freeman's character during Shawshank Redemption. Using humor to stay sane in a place like this, a man can truly change inside this place, showing others fighting, also all Shawshank things. Then the twist being that it kills them, they start over as amoeba again. They do this many times in the episode. They die and are reborn as amoeba many, many times. Rick then references prison rules to survive and evolve their way out, but later in the episode, Rick eventually learns that them dying is what the tree actually needs. It survives off of their deaths, so it wants people to fight.
Someone's gotta have a grudge. This is too reform.
They use the first part of the episode to sort of explain the whole cycle and how this works with them evolving. They start with mitosis evolving into fish, then to amphibians crawling out of the water. Morty also enjoys being able to go to the bathroom anywhere on the spot, which sets up the whole running storyline with him not liking crap, eating crap, until eventually his character arc brings him full circle and he is cool with eating crap. There are many, many references to him eating crap, which several other characters reference, like, you're really hung up on this whole crap thing. Morty then dies when he can't use his lungs, and Rick is forced to drown himself so he can restart with Morty. This happens a couple times in the episode. The reason he says it takes a lot of willpower to drown yourself is because the body is automatically programmed for survival. So the minute you start running out of air, your body freaks out without you really thinking about it and makes you want to search for more air, pulling your head out of the water. So you really have to fight the urge to save yourself. I was a swimmer in college. A big part of that is developing your lung strength as you're swimming through the water. Free divers also do this too. They really have to train themselves to stay underwater even longer. Next, they try spiders. Morty winds up getting them killed again when he gets them stuck in the web. Then they try birds. When he asks Rick to try and build them mech suits, Rick has built mech suits in many, many episodes. He's even built wooden mech suits before. The tree kills them again each time they try to climb up it or fly up it or try to escape up it. This time they try dinosaurs. They do a montage inspired by The Lion King with Timon, Pumbaa, and Simba growing up as they evolve into higher organisms. There's another Lion King parody at the end of the episode too, where he also references not getting sued by Disney and trying to change some of the copyright stuff. Next they try mammals, then rats, then monkeys, getting closer to humans. Morty makes the reference to jerking it because now he has hands and a dong. There are a couple references to this later in the episode too. Just examples of him being a horn dog, 14-year-old kid, which is very classic Morty. They run afoul of a bunch of apes who make another joke about jerking it. Justin Long is one of the guest stars. He plays one of these apes. John Hodgman also stars in the episode too, a little bit after this. One of the other running gags in the episode is their two characters getting together because they did the classic I'm a Mac, I'm a PC ads since the beginning of time, it seems like. And I think they just did another one for another brand as a parody on those I'm a Mac, I'm a PC old ads. Rick kills them with a spear and then takes over their culture, but Morty dies and they wind up separating for the rest of the episode till the end. He winds up meeting the John Hodgman amoeba who tries to teach him a better way to survive the cycle. It's a very Shawshank lesson that he gives him about giving himself over in prison reforms. They then become bees, and when he says he was a pod person looking for planets to conquer, that feels like a Unity reference, but with the 3 eyes, I don't know that he was particularly a Unity character, but pod people just screams Unity. They're then all killed by an ape eating their honey. They start again, and then the Justin Long ape separately traps a whole bunch of wolves with the dead bull, now serving Rick, who has conquered a bunch of the other creatures down there and creates his own elaborate society around the base of the tree, trying to find ways to escape.
More fermented berry mash.
Right away, sir.
He even has them making wine while he's in the middle of doing this, like he pauses to have wine while he's trying to escape. He winds up sacrificing all of them over and over again countless times. You have to imagine that they all died, were reincarnated, and then served him again, and then died again as a sacrifice, trying to find different ways to escape the tree. The flying machine here, too, is based on Leonardo da Vinci's ancient designs. He keeps trying other ways. He tries to cut the roots, tries to burn it, but the tree keeps egging him on, challenging Rick like he can't do it, which is meant to foreshadow the tree revealing that he's doing this just to survive, like it's just for sustenance, and he's just this regular evil tree creature. But while this is going on, Morty is getting this moral message, making it seem like the way to live is this reformed way that John Hodgman is teaching him. So if you really want to think about the actual message of the episode, yes, Rick was technically right, but Morty was also technically right at the same time. Morty's group then becomes clams. They evolve into whales, larger fish, make more references to crapping in the water than the clams eating the crap. So they're basically eating their own crap, a lot of eating of crap, which John Hodgman's character talks to Morty about, like, you're really hung up on this crap stuff. They become worms, eating crap again, then turtles. He sees the ape bones, reminding him this is an endless cycle that they're trapped in, and John Hodgman reminds him that that's their sentence. They have to live through the cycle of death and rebirth over and over again until the tree lets them go. So it's not really about beating the tree, although technically it is about beating the tree, because that's what they have to do at the end of the episode, which is why I say that both Morty's way and Rick's way were also right at the same time. Morty's lesson here is also meant to be another Shawshank Redemption reference. The idea of a reformed prisoner being someone who doesn't want to leave is another callback to Shawshank when Morgan Freeman's character. Throughout the movie, they show over his lifetime while he's stuck in prison, he tries and fails over and over again to win parole the traditional way until later in life he gets sick of it all and tells the board that he doesn't think that he should leave, and then they grant him parole and he gets to go free. So the minute that he doesn't want to leave is the minute that he gets to go. Morty not wanting to eat a person is also him basically going vegan. But in the post-credits scene, they go to an intergalactic fast food restaurant, so it seems like the veganism did not stick, and Morty's back to eating regular food. Morty then tries to go it alone, dies again, then turns into plant life, evolves into seaweed basically, then goes through a big montage, eventually evolving into trees and fruit, feeding the bees, and then over and over again into a large forest. Morty becomes this giant forest. This is also him finally being okay with eating crap, surviving off of crap. One of the other jokes here too is he slowly grows his way back up the tree and finally beats the tree, like he finally escapes. You see in the background, the bodies and bodies of Rick's test subjects pile up higher and higher up the tree, like he's killed them endlessly in this cycle, trying to find different ways to escape, unable to do so, but Morty's able to do it by growing his way up the tree. With the big payoff being that the tree was never trying to give anyone any kind of wisdom or moral education. It was just trying to be a predatory organism, trapping everyone in the hollow earth to feed off of their life force in the cycle of reincarnation. And super surprised that Morty was actually able to escape, but does tell him to leave, like, this is my spot, you can be a tree all you want to now, but then eventually tamps him back down. He also foreshadows the end of the episode when he says that you're not a spacefaring creature, so you can't leave the planet, and at the end of the episode, all the different creatures that are stuck in their current bodies have to evolve into beings that are capable of piloting ships that can leave the planet, so everybody does evolve back into a spacefaring person. When Morty falls, he's seemingly dead, and the rest of the Morty trees all die at the same time too. Like, his entire body was the forest, and it was connected, so when he dies, everything dies. Rick sees it happen, kills himself so that he can rejoin Morty, who tells him the truth about the tree, trapping them all for sustenance. Rick feeling like he was right the whole time, like I was right to hate that guy. They then kill the Morgan Freeman amoeba a couple more times to pay off the joke from earlier, and Rick evolves into a Neanderthal in another Lion King parody scene, making jokes about not wanting to do it as a lion because he didn't want to get sued by Disney. There were copyright jokes in previous episodes this season too. We're like, we don't want to get sued, like he did the Looney Tunes joke in Warner Brothers earlier. You also notice the Justin Long character has turned into a hyena now, like the ones from Lion King. Morty turns into a giant tree again, and the way to beat the tree is to stop fighting and starve the tree out, them creating a little society inside the mountain. You also notice that Rick turns Morty, or part of Morty's body, into a staff that he carries around. It's all living, like Morty himself is plant life, so he's living all over the cave here as different types of plant life that the animals then eat, crap out, which feeds Morty, and the cycle continues. So this is also meant to be Morty's character arc, where he's gotten okay with eating crap. We get a couple funny moments, like the Justin Long hyena gets with the John Hodgman sheep and they get married, which feels like another I'm a Mac, I'm a PC reference, like, oh, they're finally getting together now after many years of arguing over each other. They show the tree starving and dying, going on a rampage, then trying to kill their society, and their big final battle with the tree feels like a comp to the final battle in Ferngully, the Last Rainforest, against the evil entity, with them finally destroying it and being able to escape, but then paying it off with a bit of Rick and Morty trying to trick them so that they can escape, leaving the others trapped down there, at least for a little while, until they're able to evolve into beings that can pilot their own spaceships, because everybody's spaceships are just stuck nearby the tree.
If it makes you feel any better, I didn't steal anything from the glove boxes.
Don't worry though, the evil tree spirit didn't mess with anything in their glove boxes, didn't steal any of their stuff. When they return home, Summer reveals only a single day has gone by. They've only been gone for a day. She's also doing biology homework, a callback to their adventure. Morty also joking that he doesn't actually know anything about the science of biology because it's so complex, and he keeps skipping school, so he's still kind of dumb now, which Rick makes fun of all the time. During the credits, Troy Baker and Nolan North also show up. They actually do background voices for Rick and Morty all the time. Minor characters, usually not like real big guest roles, so they're not really credited as guests, but they do show up in episodes often. Then this time in the post-credit scene, they pay off the bit from the end of the episode with them trapping everybody down there in the Hollow Earth and leaving them, with them going to an intergalactic fast food restaurant, bumping into the Justin Long character again and the John Hodgman character, who have evolved into beings that can leave the planet piloting their ship and are still married and bickering like an old married couple. Which also feels like another callback to the I'm a Mac, I'm a PC ads. Generally, this episode felt like one of the smaller ones this season. Maybe they're trying to save a little bit of money and they just blew the budget on a couple of the other big episodes. Everybody post all your reactions in the comments below and let me know if you spotted any Easter eggs or references in the episode that I didn't talk about in the video. My full episode 8 video will post next week after they release it, so be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss that. Everybody click here for that episode. I'll update the link as soon as I post it, and click here for all my other Rick and Morty episodes. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.